What would happen if you shake your art about and stop keeping it hidden? No, I didn't say arts, I said art. And this isn't just for actual, what we think of usually artists, but I'm talking about the content creators. I'm talking about the healers, the leaders, the people here who are called to make change. And yes, this could also be the natural artistic person through painting and stuff as well. But most of my clients are already running high-level businesses, and you've gotten to a point where money is so, much more easier for you than in the past maybe you thought that it would be. And now you're getting to the point where you realize it's not just about the money. It's actually about how you feel. It's about your quality of life. It's about feeling so secure in yourself that nothing can shake you, right? So it's just, okay. Yes. Okay, so for those of you new here, I am Kai Clifford. I'm a healer, leader, spiritual guide, and I help my clients to heal anything in the way of their success, including chronic physical pain, including fear of being on camera. I help them grow their audiences. I help them feel great in their body, heal their relationships. It's really sort of literally anything in the way of your desires, because I deal with subconscious reprogramming work. That should be lower, right? How's that? Yes? Okay. Because I deal and heal with subconscious reprogramming work, basically it all works the same. So even like whether it's womb cramps, whether it's sciatica, whether it's like these mystery stabbing pains that you're getting, or whether it's anxiety, overwhelm, fear that you might make a wrong step and lose what you have, or fear of being embarrassed, fear of being seen, or anything, like literally anything, it's all made the same way in your body. So when you know how to go in through the actual trap door of the universe into the atomic structure where your subconscious lives, where you build your belief system, which then builds your body and your reality around you, well, then you can release and heal anything. And that's why what I do is so varied. I've got multiple examples, but one that comes to mind is one of my clients who came to me. She was a best-selling author, but every time she'd hit record to record that video, she would freeze, just like a deer in the headlights. And through our work together, we changed how she felt. So she was able to be confident on camera, and within like a 2 or 3 years, I'm not sure how long it took, but her YouTube channel went from pretty much nothing, because she couldn't even do videos, to 70,000 subscribers the last time I checked. This is because we released her fear of being seen. We released her fear of judgment. We released her fear of what other people thought, which, guess what? What you think other people think is actually in your imagination, lodged somatically in your body. So it's a mind-body connection where you feel hesitating to do something and you might not know why. Now, my subconscious reprogramming work goes in to help you find out why you hesitate, why you filter yourself, why you are scared of this, and the other. And it always has a reason. And not only that, it's not broken. It's not like this like faulty part of yourself, because it's working perfectly in alignment with your belief system. So if you believe through experience that you've had that if you speak up, you'll be criticized for it. If you speak up, you'll be hated for it. If you shine bright, you will be chastised. Then you have a very real reason to feel scared. And that means that when you go to hit record or speak in front of people or share your truth, you might feel, frozen like those deer in the headlights, Here's what's really important to understand. These subconscious fears that we have that hold us back, they have reasons. So when you feel that tightness in your throat, that heaviness, you go to press record or shine your light, talk to people, do something important to you, but you hold back, that is because of a fear in your subconscious system that has a whole entire story behind it. Feel free to share this if you want to either give something back, or that other people need to be exposed to my work, which if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm a great asset to have in your life. Like, this is what people actually tell me for some reason. Like, they use the word asset. They tell me that having me in their corner dramatically changes their life. And this is the type of thing that can change your entire day, that can change your life. Listening to how your subconscious really works and immersing yourself in spiritual law, which is psychological law, because everything starts from within you. It's spiritual law can make it sound like it's happening from the outside, coming into you. You know, like we always think like of the higher self. If you think of your higher self, do you think that it's up there when you do higher self exercise because it's higher? It's not. Your higher self is called higher because it's higher in vibration. But your higher self is actually at the deep core of your being. So your higher self is in here. It's deep, deep, deep in here. And it can also be all through your body as well. But ultimately, it's the deepest core of your being that's closest and most connected to God, to the source, infinite intelligence, the divine, right? So when we're thinking about our higher self, I invite you to notice if you are going up there. You don't need to go up there because it's in here. You actually feel your energy dive deep within your body. Now you can ask yourself, you can ask your higher self to merge with your consciousness. So that way you're thinking from love. The highest form of intelligence is love. Now, some people think of love and like, oh, that can't be true because I'm being loving and people are walking all over me. Well, there's some level in there that's not actually from pure, true love. There's some levels of fear of what other people would think, which then can call you to people please, where you will go against what feels right for you, which isn't loving towards yourself, which then leads you to act in ways that make you feel drained of energy. So think of the last time that you people pleased, that you're like, oh, you know, I don't really want to do this, but sort of have to. Did you know that this is actually a type of control and manipulation where you're trying to get the other person to act in a certain way and give you like special treatment or see you in a certain way so that then they'll treat you better? And then when they don't and they take what you give them at face value and just for granted because you offered it so freely with a secret expectation that hopefully you'd get something back, right? It can be a bitter pill to swallow to realize that they're just going to take it for granted. So our job when coming into love there is to trust that what feels right for you is what will be right for everybody. So that even means if in the short term, your choice seems to upset somebody else, well, that's okay. People are allowed to get their feelings hurt. You don't have to accommodate every single person for every single feeling that they have. In fact, that's quite unhealthy. We all have the power to grow. We all have to take responsibility for our own selves. And the more we placate and defer to other people, the worse it can be. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't sometimes put yourself out, but that has to actually be from a right place where you feel like it's right. Okay, so this is a bit of a digression, but let's go back and talk about shaking your art about. Because it can be so easy to hide our art. And I'm not just, as I said at the start, I'm not just talking about paintings and things like that. What I'm doing is art. Okay, because it's a creation. I'm creating something because it's who I am. Now, even though, yes, this is obviously related to promoting my Visibility Rockstar Challenge and my private work so that I can impact more people and obviously make money in my business, the real reason that I'm doing this live stream is because it's part of who I am. When I don't get up and when I don't talk and when I don't share, before long, I start feeling pretty crappy and I feel stifled and then I feel like insecure and like, oh, I don't want to do it. But when I actually get on live stream, our video, and I do talk, it lights me up and I feel like this great release and this energy, this rising energy, like this rising of vibration, because this is who I am. Now, not everyone is meant to be doing this. Okay, you have to figure out what's right for you. Maybe your thing isn't talking on video. It's actually doing a podcast or talking to your neighbor, you know, but if you're watching this, if you're in my world, then likely you have this knowing inside of you that you're meant to impact a lot of people. And you already are, but you know in your heart that you could be impacting more people. But not only that, people who are more your people. Okay, so it's not just about anyone at all. This is about bringing your people into your life. And you do that by showing up, like maybe like this on live stream or on video, whatever it is, however your way is, it's about promoting your art because this is who you are. Not just because it's like to make you money, not just because it's some strategy that you read from, you know, these top experts that say you should go live at least X times. It doesn't matter. Like, don't listen to them, really. You can take it in and then let it out like an ocean wave. Because the truth is, we're meant to be following the voice of love from within, which is God's voice, God's will, which is the divine, whatever terms you like for the higher power that we believe in. Now, it's really important to understand that the more you allow yourself to share with your true personality and not worry how it really looks, the better it is and it will be for you. But then we have these fears on the inside because of, whether we're bullied or teased, or whether people turned against us when we shone too bright, or whatever it was with your personal story. We do have these subconscious fears that hold us back. And again, I will bring that back to, that's why my Visibility Rockstar Challenge is the place to be for leaders, entrepreneurs, visionaries, movers and shakers, people who are really determined to create an impact in the world. Because as I said, it's not just about the money. The money is more of a byproduct of becoming successful. And success is really a process of revealing yourself, of revealing your talents, your skills, your passions, your desires, like real success. If success isn't just making the money, is it? Because have you ever had those times where you pushed through and you really exhausted yourself, whether it was in a launch or some project, and whether it was making money or whatever your goal for that thing was, you just felt depleted. Now, maybe it's that the goal was right, or that you were doing it in a way that was against your soul or with negative beliefs about how life works. That's a big part of reprogramming your subconscious, is releasing the exhaustion, releasing the fatigue, releasing the beliefs that you have to do things a certain way. Whereas the truth is, it doesn't exist. Actually, it doesn't exist. Haven't you noticed that all these courses of success, they are all done in different ways, but the method is only as good as the person using it. And you could even be so-called as good or even on the same sort of level as the person using it. So it's not about being not as good as them. Is this the right thing for you? Rather than looking at what everyone else is doing, what comes through you, what comes through your imagination. Now, when you are a creator and you are, wanting to increase your income and your abundance, think of money like a waterfall, because money really is like water. It's just everywhere. It's all around us. It's just a part of our abundance. And when you relax into the idea that there aren't certain ways to do things, that's when you can get creative. I love to think of receiving money like having buckets or containers that you take to the waterfall, and you just put them under the waterfall and you receive the money. Now think of it, you can also think of it like gateways and opportunities for people to pay you. So how many opportunities for people to pay you right now do you have set up? It's just, again, this isn't about what other people are doing. This is about what can you do now? What feels right for you now? Maybe it's as simple as creating a little post about an offer that you've got and making sure that the payment gateway is set up properly, rather than it just being something in your head that you're talking to people about. If you have a program that you're wanting to promote, but yet you haven't set up the payment structure for it yet, or you haven't set up the email list or, things like that, then on your end, energetically, that'll be a bit leaky, most likely, because you need to have those buckets open and then the container to receive the people. Does that make sense? So many people, they say to me, I want to make all this extra money and blah, blah, blah. It's like, great, excellent, fantastic. Now, yes, there's a lot of energetic work that we can do and sort of have to do about getting certain, about trusting that there are all these options and opportunities around you now. But to cement that into physical reality, we have to take physical action, because we are in the physical. And it's so amazing what happens when you change your mindset and your energy around it, where you feel like, yeah, I really could receive money now. Yeah, I could receive that extra thing, that extra client, that extra opportunity. You don't know what it is exactly, maybe, but you know that it could happen now. Don't you think that it'll be a lot easier to really believe that it could and will happen now if you have those extra buckets out, like those extra few payment links, those extra few posts that advertise what you do, whatever it is. So just make sure that you are set up to receive the money But then the kicker is the actions that we take don't need to be completely related to the money. So it shouldn't be like this stringent, like this is my to-do list, although you can have a to-do list, but like this is my to-do list that, you know, all the experts said that I should do and I'm going to do it and it's going to make this money. It's like, well, no, you have to learn how to separate them and do your art for art's sake. So in my head, I have to separate this live stream from the money that it will actually bring in through the people joining Visibility Rockstar and seeing me and choosing to work with me for my one-to-one. Yes, that will happen. And yes, it's hard to separate it because obviously they're connected, but I need to be doing this not because I think it will make me money, but because it's part of who I am and I need to share the stuff that comes through me. And for you, yeah, that might be doing videos. For you, it might be doing something completely different. Who knows? You know what is right for you to do through your imagination, not through what somebody else tells you to do. Okay, so when I say to shake your art about, it really is about allowing it to be seen, allowing yourself to be proud of it, allowing yourself to make mistakes with it. And this is a big thing that we often need to reprogram and clear up. One thing that I've massively had is being scared of being seen making mistakes because it's just like a trauma that I had. And yeah, it's something that I'm still clearing to this day. But I can tell you, before I used to do everything I did, I felt embarrassed about everything. But now I just have a slight fear of embarrassment. But I keep reminding myself, like, I've been embarrassed loads of times and I'm okay. Sure, like, it hurt at the time, but that's because I was so caught up on the idea of how I looked to other people. I based my entire value on whether others thought highly of me or not. And because I did that, it meant that I was outside of myself. It meant that my desires often weren't my own. Even if they were often what I actually really wanted, there was a layer in between them because I was so worried about what people thought. And obviously this goes back to my childhood. Like, it all does. All of us. Every single problem we have ultimately goes back to our childhood. Also, yes, through past lives and the karma, but the work that I do also clears karma because karma really comes from judgment and it comes from self-judgment. So when you forgive yourself for how you feel, which is the first step of forgiveness, which means that you don't just forgive, you forgive yourself for not forgiving. Okay, so this is the work we do that is so incredibly powerful, and not many people include this step in their healing, but it is key and essential to powerfully and truly forgive. You simply acknowledge how you feel. So let's say that you want to do video, but you have this fear. You might look at this fear and feel, okay, well, why do I believe this? Okay, well, because. Why? Why is it? Like, you know, if you really go in and you're patient and you listen, and then you go back into the past maybe and you ask, okay, well, what's something that, where did this feeling first show up? And you keep going back and back and back to as young as you can, even if it feels like it's made up. And then you can do like the whole visualization with it to heal that and reframe it. But mostly, or as well, shall I say, you feel that fear, you feel the hurt, the pain, because unforgiveness, not forgiving, is quite simply feeling hurt when you think about it. That is unforgiveness, feeling hurt when you think about it. So you can tell someone you forgive them, and on some level, you forgive them. But if when you think about it, you still feel hurt, you still feel salty, like, that's unforgiveness. Okay, but we spend so much time wanting to forgive that we often skip the step of giving ourselves the permission to feel upset about it. It's like, of course I'm upset. This person did this and that, or I did this and this, or these are things happened. I'm upset about this. Rah! And you let yourself feel the anger, the pain, the shame, or whatever it is. And you take a deep breath on it. And when you allow yourself to realize that it's okay to have these angers, these hurts, these resentments about what happened. And honestly, sometimes it just takes a few minutes of being in it. It'll start to shift. But you have to fully be in there, 100%. Fully 100% give yourself permission to be hurt. Breathe through it. Let yourself feel it. And then, forgive yourself for not forgiving. Understand why. And guess what? That'll naturally start to shift. It will naturally start to shift. And then guess what? Then you can tell yourself, well, one day in the future, I'll be willing to forgive. And this takes away the resistance that your subconscious will feel. It'll be like, oh yeah, maybe, yeah, one day, sure. maybe one day I'll be willing to forgive. And you say these things to yourself. You have actual practices where you take time to do this. And then as you start being more like, yeah, I'm willing to one day forgive, your system just starts to melt because everything's happening now. So even though you're thinking of one day, metaphysically, it's still happening now. And so your nervous system gets used to it, and then you're able to transform it and change it. And the unforgiveness will release. And guess what? Bingo, bango. Then you become more of a magnet for money, more of a magnet for love, for friendships, for great things happening, because you're not holding on to so much psychic energy that's depleting and draining you. But you can't force it. Just saying you forgive doesn't work. Yeah? And so, back to things like being on camera and sharing your art, this unforgiveness very much can stop you from being seen by your clients because maybe somebody hurt you in a way that made you feel like it's not safe to be yourself. I know I've had plenty of that. That was my whole life story, right? So, whenever I go in and clear these areas up in myself and in my clients, obviously we do this for them, all of a sudden, clients will come out of the woodwork. Or opportunities will happen. They'll receive money in some random way. Or they'll, heal or leave. They'll heal a relationship or leave a toxic relationship. Or something happens. They'll get headhunted for TV and movies if that's something that is in their sphere of desire somewhere, even if they're not aware of it in the moment. Like this has happened, like plenty of my clients somehow, for some reason, without us, some of them we've talked about it. Like one of my clients, she came to me, I think for just a session or two. And, she wanted to get on TV and she'd been trying for years, I think. And we did some clearings on her fears of being seen. And then within 3 months, she was booked on a TV show as a recurring character. So that was pretty cool. But things like that have happened to multiple people. So just understand that something as simple as increasing your impact, going live on camera, feeling comfortable in front of people, really is directly influenced by your subconscious beliefs. The results you get back from it is influenced by your fears and unforgivenesses. Yeah, so if this is hitting home to you, let me know in the comments what's been your biggest highlights or takeaways, or is there something in your life that you feel could be holding you back from being seen more, even if you're going all in and you've already got the business underway, which, most of my clients really do, because on that level is because I love to work with people who already are all in with making changes, not only in the world around them, but in their life. Because when you are willing to look after yourself and help yourself, that you will do this inner work, it's very exciting to do this work, I can tell you that. Much more exciting than when you're at the stage where you're just like, oh, I just want to do like one session and that's it ever. So that's not going to work because this work is just like, to be fair, one session can get you a great shift. But for the things that we want to ultimately change in our life, the most exciting part is when you're ready to rewrite your entire reality and soothe your nervous system and rework how it is you respond to situations, to life, to people mistreating you and disrespecting you. That's my greatest joy, is helping people to respond to life differently. And this, of course, will also heal anything in your life. Now, whatever your problem is, we'll go with that focus. So in my one-to-one work, a lot of my clients, they come to me with like pains, with aches, with chronic illnesses, or with anxieties, with overwhelm, like things like fear of being on camera, or, hernias, like weird things, like any problem, like literally any problem. I cannot even siphon it down because any problem is a gateway to getting what you want. And then in that work, we also have to release unhook you from the need, thinking that you have to have what you want, otherwise you won't be happy. Because that is one of the biggest blocks in the way, until you realize that you don't actually ultimately know what the most amazing version of your life will be. And you start trusting in God, the divine, the universe, whichever terms you like is what we use. And you start realizing that this higher power is real. It is loving. It isn't judgy. It is actually able to see everything at all times. And if you keep asking for something and you're not ready for it, which means you have like a subconscious belief that says it's not safe, ultimately, then it won't happen. Or if you keep asking for it and it's actually not going to be good for you, then it either won't happen or it will happen to teach you the contrast of how much, actually, this isn't the thing that I wanted. Okay, so it's about letting go into that trust, into that flow of how life is meant to work. And when you do this and you start showing up as yourself because it's who you are and who you're meant to be, and not just for the results that it could get you, that's when the results that you get are going to get better and better and better. So, and I'd love to invite you to join me in the Visibility Rockstar Challenge if you haven't already. This challenge really is the place to be. It's going to help you feel so much more confident in yourself. Whether you think, okay, I definitely want to do video, I definitely want to get my work out there, or you're like, oh, I'm sick of filtering myself in conversation, I'm sick of worrying what people will think about me. We're going to be in a private closed group. And every day, you're going to receive one of my EFT breathwork tapping videos, which is my unique methodology that transforms your beliefs. So rather than like trying to force yourself to believe something, we're actually going to melt the disbelief, or let's say the belief in the negative. We melt it in your body. And as we melt it, just like butter, right? Then we transmute it and we help it grow into a beautiful tree. I don't know how butter turns into a tree, but in this situation it does. Okay, so we're going to turn that butter into a tree. We're going to melt it and then we're going to turn it into a tree. Now what am I rambling on about here? Your belief system. When you believe that it's safe to be seen, you will be seen. When you believe it's safe to be seen, you will be seen. When you believe it's safe to be seen and you won't be attacked and you don't have to worry about what people think about you, and that you can do what you want to do and the way you want to do it, well, then everything starts to work out for you. Now, over these 5 days, oh my God, you are not going to believe in this moment until afterwards, when you're going to be like shocked. I promise you this. Last time I ran this, people were shook in a positive way about how much change they got in 5 days. Like in 5 days, it shouldn't be real. But people came showing up. They started the first day nervous, a lot of them, like real nervous, like stumbling, like I'm stumbling and stumbling all over the place, but I don't care, right? But when you care about it, people only care about your faults as much as you care about them, right? So sure, some people watching this will just probably hate me. Like, that's what I want, actually. You want some people to hate you, because if they don't hate you, then the people who love you can't find you either, because you're not producing a strong emotional reaction, because you're hiding from people. Okay, so I'm gonna have haters, and if they blow up on my Facebook page, I just block, blockity, block, blockity, block. Like, so what? Okay? And what that means is that people who are meant for me, who actually like listening to me, who don't care that I stamble and I stumble over my words, like, they will come and listen to me and be impacted by my work. And again, we're talking about Visibility Rockstar here, and I really want you to join. Like, if you like my vibe, if you feel like, you get value from what I do, and obviously, if you're a creator and you want to get your work out there and you want to be seen, you want to be heard and feel comfortable in your own skin, then there's no reason to skip this, like, at all. I cannot imagine a world where, as the type of person I just described, the creator that's, wants to make an impact and feel comfortable in their own skin, where you would not do this, because this challenge is so sacred and so special to my heart. Now, the good news is it's a free-ish challenge. So you have 2 levels. The free-ish level, which is $27 to honor your commitment, where, as I didn't finish what I was saying, from day 1, people went from nervous, stumbling over their words, to day 5, like being their quirky self, feeling confident in their skin, like going on live on their own pages, doing videos, promoting their businesses. Like, it really, really does work. Okay, so $27 for the basic level, and this is a video each day of my unique EFT tapping methodology. And then after that, in our private closed group, you will do your own 3 to 4 minute video. And you'll be given a wisdom prompt, something to speak on specifically, to reach the hearts of your audiences and to help you feel like that's what I'm feeling, like that comfortable ease in your body, where you are just able to speak from your own heart, right? Where you can just be yourself. And yes, so each day you're going to show up and do that. Now, for those of you that know you're a VIP, you know that you want the best level, and yeah, you just want that. Then the VIP level is going to be a deep dive into the 2 biggest blocks to being your real self, to the fear of being seen, to like calling in your ideal clients, to growing your following, your impact, to sharing and shaking your art about, right? Shake it all about. The VIP level is a deep dive into overcoming fear of being imperfect, of making mistakes, of embarrassing yourself in front of others, which really is based upon an appearance-based value system, which is where you think that if other people don't like you, then that devalues you. And we all have it a lot more. Like if you cringe about something that's happening in your life when you tell people, then you have an appearance-based value system. Okay, next up. Then we also do overcoming the fear-based need of, which one is it? Of needing to impress people, which is sort of the same thing. It's of needing to impress people, of prove yourself, which if you prove yourself, you'll never have what you want because it's a whole thing. It's a cycle. So think about this. If you feel like you want to prove, if you ever hear you saying, I want to prove that I can, or I want to prove them wrong because, I want to prove this and prove that, I want their approval, right? If you want their approval by proving yourself, well, you want to prove that you're this good type of thing, right? But you want to prove that you're this good type of thing, but only people who have that good type of thing are already doing and having what you want. But since you believe you're not that good type of thing, and you have to prove you are, it means you, in your belief system, you're not. So you can never get what you want because you're never that, and only people who have what you want are that. So the only way is to destroy this belief system completely from the ground up, rebuild it on a being-based value system where you just know rock solid that no matter what happens, you are worthy. There's nothing to prove because you already are that. You do not need that to be happy. You do not need that for their approval. You do not need that at all. Okay, so yeah, we want these things, but I can tell you, as soon as I let go of needing the things that I wanted, the weight fell off me. I reduced in age. I started making money in my business. I called in clients easier. I made friends easier. Like as soon as I let go of all of these things, I need to be like this to be liked, then it all became easier. Okay, so this is what we're going to be doing, the VIP level of the Visibility Rockstar Challenge. And I'm so excited. We start soon. Now, there are still spots open for the bonus. The first 11 leaders who join us are going to get involved or invited, let's say, to a live group healing, to clear fears of being confident, clear fears of being seen. The more of this work you do with me, the better. You can do 100 of these sessions, and each session you're going to become more powerful, more strong, more vibrant, and then eventually fears will come up again that you have to face. It's the next level of the spiral, and then we do more work on it. We clear those next level of fears, and you become able to hold this greater level of abundance, this greater level of responsibility, of joy, right? So even if you did 100 sessions in a row with me and they were all even on the same topic, it will come out differently. Or even if you did repeats of the replays, you would find a different level, a deeper level, and constantly upgrade, clear, feel way, way better, right? So Visibility Rockstar Challenge is at www.spiritualsuccessjourney.com/Visibility Rockstar Challenge. Just happen to have my computer on my lap, so why don't I just go ahead and find it and put it in the comments for you. Okay, so I'm so excited to see who joins us in this journey because there's nothing I've been excited to run more than this since I can remember. And in fact, back when I ran this years ago, I think I had all these blocks and beliefs about, because I do so much, I literally heal chronic illness. I literally, clients who have hernias, or I told they have to get a hysterectomy or an operation on their back, or have these weird pains that they keep calling their doctor about and the doctor doesn't know how to help them, or they have frozen shoulder or IBS. I could go on, asthma, these things I've personally healed in my clients that their doctors told they'd be sick with forever. So that's a big deal to me. And so I think because it's such a big deal to me, I think I kept wanting to focus on that, even though I will work with that with my private clients. And in fact, a lot of my private clients, they come to me sometimes to, release fears of being seen so they can get the real estate license, or so that they can, go up that next level in their business, release the fears, heal the relationships, all the sorts of things. And then guess what? We end up working on a physical issue. One of my clients, she came to me for, fears of being seen in a business so that she could actually be, pretty much what we're doing in Visibility Rockstar. But as we're working privately one-to-one, she started telling me just casually, not to heal it, that she had these stomach spasms for 4 years, 4 long years, stomach spasms, where she couldn't even lay down to sleep. She couldn't even really leave the house very well because her stomach could act up at any time. She had this painful acid reflux constantly. The doctor was giving her antacids, which just make it worse. Gave her a natural remedy, which makes it better, which is apple cider vinegar with the mother. If you want to know how to do it, then I'll let you know. Just let me know and I'll send you a little link to it. And the energy work, we went into the pain in her stomach. I helped her access the memory encoded within the holographic memory. We then brought up what she believed about it, what she made it mean, which is everything. And we changed it. And then bingo, bango, within 2 months of sessions, of like, I think weekly sessions or something, I asked her like between 1 week to the other, or maybe I went 2 weeks without seeing her towards the end of the 2 months. And then it came back and I asked her about the stomach spasms. And she went like this, she went, oh, I've completely forgot about them. And I was like, what? And even though I'd heard that before, it's still always amazing. And she'd been working with me for, as I said, was that 3? Yeah, so 2.5 months or something, and that was going to the 3rd month, or whatever it was, some period of time. And she'd had the stomach spasms for 4 years, every day, all day long, all night long was a problem. And then you wouldn't think, how would you forget about having something like that? Well, because it's not there anymore and it just goes away naturally and gradually because we heal it deep down in your body and your body doesn't have that reaction anymore. Okay, so a lot of people come to me for healing the fears of being on camera, healing the relationship issues, manifesting money, things like that. And then we heal the chronic issues in the way and save them from having to have painful operations and her being in bed for the next 4 years on top of that, right? So if you're the type of person that you are ready to heal on whatever level, just like my client who came to me, I like to heal her visibility fears, and we ended up healing her stomach spasms that the doctors couldn't do. The doctors just sent her home. They just basically like, well, we tried to heal your stomach spasms. Here's some antacids. Just go home and suffer. And so she just accepted that that was her fate. And so she came, and so as I just already said, when she started working with me, she wasn't even thinking about healing her stomach spasms. Like another client of mine who wasn't thinking about healing her sciatica, she came to me because of some trauma hell loop she was playing that she'd get triggered all the time and, go into these terrible triggers and, was a basket case in a relationship. She came to me to heal that, and we did heal that. And then she mentioned, oh, by the way, I have sciatica. I can't even lift my leg up to go in the car. I have to physically lift it up with my hands to put my leg in my car. And I was like, well, you know what? I can actually heal that. And she's like, really? And I'm like, why don't we give it a go? And fortunately, she was curious enough to keep, paying for sessions and continue doing the work. And after each session, her sciatica felt better. But the way it works is because we work on an emotional level, and it's also about changing your responses and your standards and what you accept in life and how you see life. So it goes away and then it comes back, goes away, comes back. But every time we do the session, it's not just like getting a chiropractic adjustment where it feels better, but it comes back exactly the same. Instead, it gets better. And then as we keep going, the pain goes away for longer. So you feel better for longer. Then it comes back, but then it's smaller and easier to handle. And it just keeps coming back, going away, coming back, going away. But every time, rather than just being there constantly every single day, like a pain in the fucking ass or wherever it is, it goes away for ages and then it keeps coming back. But then we deal with it. And as we heal, whether it's the sciatica or the asthma or the stomach spasms, as we heal it, other things in life changes too. So if you're the type of person where you know that, you like to up level in your life, then there's nothing better than either my private one-to-one work or obviously the Visibility Rockstar Challenge if you're ready to get out there on camera and shake your art about and really be seen and feel like you can be your true self. And as I said, as you know, as you clear your subconscious fears, things just start happening. Again, another one of my clients, I already told you about the author that went from frozen on camera to as we cleared her fears on camera, she then had 70,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel last time I checked. There was another one more recently who was a young girl who came to me for psychosomatic pain she was experiencing. She had agoraphobia. She lived at home with her mum and sisters and she felt like she couldn't leave the property, otherwise something would happen. She had these irrational fears. And so we worked on the psychosomatic pains. we actually really helped these parts of her feel safe in her body, and they transformed and went away. And then during it, we worked on her agoraphobia. A past life memory came up, which was quite traumatic, and we cleared and worked on that. We worked on generational stuff and all the things. And then all of a sudden, her Instagram page, which we didn't even really work on or talk about, went from 350 subscribers to within a few days, it blew up to 11,000 subscribers. She messaged me, she's like, Kai, my Instagram page just went to 11,000. I'm like, now, this was a path of least resistance for her because she already was doing Instagram. She enjoyed it. She was putting up these beautiful pictures and these beautiful clothes she made in like the countryside, in trees and with dogs and with baskets and beautiful fields. And she was just doing that already. So we didn't have to do much work on it because she was just doing it. She just was doing it, right? So it was path of least resistance. And once we released her fears of being seen and her fears of, death and fears of people and all of these things, all of a sudden it just blew up. Now, not only that, I went to check a page, and within the few hours that she'd messaged me, I think it went up to 15,000 in that time. And then 2 days later, it gone up to 20,000 people. Now, this isn't going to happen for everyone because it's your path of least resistance. Something will happen for you. It might be that you get into a new relationship. It might be that you win or decide to book a holiday. It might be that, like, 2 of my clients who had massive romance blocks and by the way, are in relationships now. One is married with a little baby even. Somehow, separately, they didn't even know about each other. I was working with them both, clearing their and not only that, they were living in places that were just substandard. They were like, one of them, the place was falling apart and the landlord wasn't fixing it. The other one, I think she was living with people she didn't really like, and they're just sort of putting up with it. And we went in, we cleared all these things in their emotions, and just the things that I do is how it works. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they both individually decided, you know what, I'm done with this, I'm buying my own house. Like, they both had, obviously were set financially, but in their minds, they still had to put up with substandard treatment. And so something in them cleared, and all of a sudden, bam, they went and both got loans and bought these beautiful houses. Now, one of them, she even experienced like the mortgage person being condescending and rude to her, and in the past she would have bowed down to him, but instead she's like, I'm not putting up with this, and she went and she found a different one. Now that's a big deal for someone who before let people walk all over her all the time, right? So it doesn't matter and also they didn't come to me to buy a new house. They didn't do that. But in that process of buying their house, it's because that was a path of least resistance for them. That's what was right for them. And then from there, one of them sooner than the other, but again, that's their own personal journeys, they both got into relationships. And one of them, she's married now and she has a baby. And I haven't checked in with my other beautiful, lovely client for a while, but if you're out there, please reach out and say hi. It's just amazing what happens. So whether you do my one-to-one work or join us in the Visibility Rockstar Challenge on basic or VIP level, I am so excited to help you come into the truth of who you are and find these amazing, surprising manifestations that will always, 100% always happen. Always. We just don't know what it's going to be. You're not going to sign up with me and say, I'm, doing this to get headhunted for an indie movie, which is what one of my clients did. She didn't sign up with me for that. She signed up with me for, health and anxiety issues. And then in the process, as we cleared all that and we freed it, then she ended up being in a movie. And it's like, well, that's not something you can plan, but it happens when you do the work. Okay. So, let me put this post in. So let's see, where are we? Spiritual. So Visibility Rockstar Challenge. Visibility Rockstar Challenge is going to be amazing. Woo! Definitely join. Please do, because it's going to be fun. Okay, so if this has helped you, thank you for being here. I shared lots of nuggets and wisdom. So let's go back to the main thing I wanted to share. One, the art has to be separate to the outcome. So, and also the art isn't about painting, although it could be. It's really about this. It's about sharing your true self. It's about creating, sharing what wants to come through you, and you do it because it's who you are. You don't do it because some some blogger and video person who's already very successful said, well, you need to be doing live streams, otherwise you won't be successful. Well, that's not true, okay? It helps, but if it's not right for you, then don't do it. Okay, but if you know in your heart you want to be doing video more, but you feel resistant, that just means that you have beliefs in the way saying it's not safe and that it's not right and that it's going to be too hard or too much responsibility. So we have to go in and reprogram it, which just means facing yourself with love and changing your mind, tapping into spiritual law, God's laws, divine laws, psychological laws, and getting control of yourself, which actually, by getting control, it's a lot about letting go of control. See, it's all nuance. That's why you need to work with someone like me when you're ready. Okay, so the other thing is buckets. So money is a waterfall, right? Waterfall everywhere. And it's actually about realizing that when you're ready to receive more money from your artwork, from which I call this art, like from your creations, from the impact you want to make, you just have to put out more buckets. So if you go to a waterfall and you just hold your hand out like this, right? And you just hope to catch some water, it's going to fall through your fingers. You may be able to drink a little bit, whatever you want to do with the water. But it's not going to work very well, is it? So what you want to do is take your buckets, take your containers, take your pools and put them underneath the waterfall. Now, how does this translate to reality? Now, if you think, yes, I could definitely receive XYZ, more money right now, it's possible. I don't know exactly, who, but it's possible. Okay, now it's going to be possible when you have those buckets set up. So if you're talking about this program, do you have the payment link and the page set up? Do you have the place where people can pay you? If you have actual paintings to sell or recordings, things like that, do you have it set up with a payment link? Do you have it out there in the world so that people can pay you? So look at where you can give people more opportunities to pay you, and you'll be surprised. Sometimes some person on a random corner of the internet will just randomly find your work, especially when you're doing energy work, and just click on that link and buy it. But you've got to give them the opportunity. You've got to set up your buckets at the waterfall so that they can buy from you. Right? Give people the opportunity to be affected by your work. Get it out there, shake it about, and let it be easy. Okay, I feel complete. Thank you so much for joining me. Please share this if you feel so inclined, so called, as either a way to give back energetically or simply because it's awesome content that people need. Okay, so I'm so excited. My name's Kai Clifford, and I'm here to help you sort yourself out. So if you want any help with that, let me know. And remember, separate the artwork from the outcome. Trust the outcome will happen. Do your belief work in the way that says that it can't happen, and then set yourself up action-wise physically as well. And then separate the art that you do. Okay, love you so much. Have a great day. Bye.